Alrighty, well, happy Thursday to everyone. I wish it was a better Thursday than what we got. Bitcoin was down today, obviously. I think the options expirations tomorrow is having a huge impact on Bitcoin price here, which is obviously having an impact on the miners as well in a sense. And then we have a lot of news stories. I mean, Core and CORW deal got shellacked. The shareholders didn't go for it, so that didn't go through. Core actually did pretty good today, all things considered. It was up actually in the green for a period of time. Then it came back down a little bit here. They've had a conference call also. I listened to a portion of it. Definitely recommend you guys listen to it if you guys are invested in Core. A lot of good insights in that as far as what they're going to be doing going forward there. We'll take a look at also their presentation from that conference call as well. And then we also have Terawulf. They got upsized to $900 million there for the convertible notes. We also have Riot reporting their Q3 results, which were actually not that bad, which were pretty good. Stock did actually pretty good today as well. What else do we have here? I think that's it. And those three things I think are the ones that we're going to talk about. Obviously, we're talking about Bitcoin miners as well, and everything else, but you guys know the drill here. Not financial advice for anyone only. Do your own research. Full disclosure below that. Hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously here. And let's take a look at what happened here with Bitcoin here. Bitcoin definitely had a wild day today again. We've been on a, 4-day losing streak, it seems like. So here it is. Today we were down on Bitcoin approximately 1.57% here. We were down much lower. We got down to a low. What was the low here? Low was 106,279 there. So is that going to be the bottom? Maybe. We bounced back up from that week, and then we closed at 108,308 and 18 cents. And then we did go back up above the 200 simple day moving average. You can see that on the chart here a little bit. See that wick, we got above it and we came back down here. So there's still some shenanigans happening here with Bitcoin. Again, like I said, the options, I think there's 13.8 billion of options expirations happening tomorrow at a price below 114, I think it is. So they're going to try to keep it down as much as they can, put in as much pain in the market on that. And then we should be off to the races here come November, right? We talked about, or actually we didn't talk about it. I posted it to our Discord server group there, that Bitcoin, if you look back on Bitcoin going back to November of last year, actually, let's see here, February, January, December, June, that's going too far back. July, August, September, October, where's it at? Right around there. 23, that's too far back. 24. July, September, sorry, October, November, there it is. October, okay. So if we zoom in on that one, that's what I want to show you guys here. If we zoom in going back to last year in October time frame, you can see here right there. There it is. This was Tuesday, the 29th of October of 2024. So last year, we had 6 days slide here in Bitcoin price, right towards the end of obviously the month and into a little bit into October as well. And this was on Saturday, Sunday, Monday there, right? And then we bounced off of that. Well, how did we bounce and how high did we go from that bounce? Well, we went over 40% from that bounce in November. So from here to the top here was actually higher than that. It was actually 60%. I was looking at probably this one over here, which was 47% here. But yeah, going all the way to the top here, we got 60% bounce in Bitcoin at that point. Will that happen again this time around? We don't know, right? It would be nice. A 60% bounce from where we are right now. We'd be talking about Bitcoin getting to about 160,000 at that point, all right? Based on where it's at right now, roughly, more or less. So if we get at least half of that, a 30% bounce, we'd be looking at about 140, something like that, potentially, if we do get a nice bounce here in November. But we don't know, right? We're just looking at what happened here last year, right around the same time frame. Options expirations happening, things go down. We've seen Bitcoin go down recently towards the end of the months, recently as well. If we look back, going back all the way back here, we can see here, let's see here, September, right? This is towards the end of September here. We were going down towards the month here. If we look at August, same thing. End of the month, we were going down. Options expirations happening there, we were going down. So every single time that we get towards the end of the month here, Bitcoin is just falling down. And it's based on the options, I believe. There's a lot of, obviously, leverage in play. People are going long, maybe too much long. And, well, the market is what the market is, right? They're going to make their money on the way down and on the way up, unfortunately. But that's kind of what we're seeing here. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we have a nice November here happening for us starting next week. And we have a nice bounce in Bitcoin price possibly getting new all-time highs as well and things like that. Markets overall today were also in the red here. Dow Jones was down, NASDAQ was down, S&P was down, Russell 2000 was down also. So there might be some option expirations happening there as well. Ethereum also got shellacked a little bit here today. If we look at that one was down today 2.57%. Miners across the board were in the red here today. All right, we talked about that here a little bit. Bitfarms was down 4.69% there. BitDeer was down 2.51%. Kango was down 3.77%. Cypher was down 2.65%. Cleanspark was down 6.35%. CORZ was down just a little bit, right? 0.14% after getting to a high of $22.12 and then pulled back down with the rest of the market. Hive was down 4.5%. Hut 8 was down 6.45%. IREN was down 3.64%. Mara was down 5.93%. Riot was down 4.87%. And Wolf, surprisingly enough, was actually up, I think, because of the oversubscription into the convertible notes to 900 million there. I think that kind of pushed the stock up there a little bit, maybe. Holders for Bitcoin here, MicroStrategy was down 7.55. Galaxy was down 6.1. Block was down 3.4 roughly. Coin was down 5.7. Exodus was down 3.8. Nexon was actually up 4.08% there for some reason. Semler was down 5.29. Phoenix was down 3.7. GameStop was down 3.42. Small miners, how did they do today? We had Any being down 4.8. Argo being down 8.8. DigiPower for some reason was up a nice bounce today, 17.87% there. DMG was down 9.8. Mawson was down 6.5. Canon was down 9.5 roughly. The Bitcoin ETF miners here were down 3.3 for BitQ. BKCH was down 3.8. DAP was down 4.6. WGMI was down 3.3. I mean, we're seeing a lot of red here. Ethereum holding companies, BMNR was down 10.47% there. This is the lowest it's been for about what now? About a month or so. That's the lowest it's gotten to. BitDigital was down 6.84 there. BTCS was down 4.77. This one continues to bleed out. Game was down 2.5. SBET was down 6.17. This one's also down pretty low on that one. And then some of the other companies that we track here. American Bitcoin was down 6.02%. Wi-Fi was down 4.62. Open was down 4.05. Oracle was even down 6.69%. Nebius was down just a little bit, 0.74. Soluna was down 5.9 today. Backed was down 11.76. This one is definitely bleeding out here a little bit recently. Fermi was down 4.6 after having a nice run here in the last couple of days. And then what else we had here? That's about it. So red Thursday in the markets today for the most part on it. Yeah, it was hard to find any kind of greens here. Look at the miners here, how they did, or how are they doing right now in the after hours right now. Most of these guys are in the green, at least when I checked it about 15 minutes ago. We got BitDeer being up 0.98% here. Bitfarms being up 2.46% now. Cypher is up 4.93%. Cleanspark is up 3.28%. CORZ Scientific is up 3% roughly. Hive is up nicely, 5.66% there. Hut 8 is up 2.7%. IREN is up 3.5%. Mara is up 2.31%. Riot Platforms is up nicely, 5%, 5.03%. And Terawulf is up another 3.58%. So people are buying the dip here, it seems like, in the after hours at least. We'll see if that continues going into tomorrow as well. All right, looking at Bitcoin here right now. Bitcoin is down for the month of October, 3.88%. Unless tomorrow we have a nice rally in Bitcoin price, October is canceled. We're going to be in the red for October here, which is going to be the first time that we've had that in 6 years, it looks like. Historically, October has been really, really good for us. Not this year. So we'll see if November can be any better for us going forward here on that one. Okay, Bitcoin ETF inflows and outflows. We had outflows yesterday, 470 million. Today we got 197 million outflows without IBIT reporting. We'll see that that's probably going to be lower than where it's at right now. All right, some good news here. Obviously, we talked about this, right? The warning on the 13.8 billion in Bitcoin options and 2.5 billion in Ethereum options will expire tomorrow. Friday, October 31st. The Bitcoin option max pain is 114,000 there. So they're going to try and keep us below that for tomorrow, get that all wiped out, and then I think we're going to be set to run in next week sometime. All right, next, some news stories that we do have here on the miners here. BitDeer announces their third quarter 2025 earnings conference call for November 10th. So that's basically in about 2 weeks or so. They're going to be hosting a conference call at 7 a.m. Eastern time on November 10th. Right, there's the address for that. So that's coming up as well. So we're definitely getting into that reporting season for the miners here. Next here we have a CORZ and Scientific deal. Right, the shareholders voted against it. Stock did actually pretty good today, going up quite nicely, and then actually coming back down with the rest. But overall, this is good, right? This gives core optionality to go move forward. They couldn't do much during this whole time frame when they were in this locked-in period, basically. But now that they are open to grow it more, they can. And if you haven't listened to the conference call, listen to it. There's a lot of good stuff in there. The good thing is they don't have to obviously pay any kind of cash to CORW for canceling the deal there, because it was canceled by shareholders, so that's good. They get to keep the money. The contracts that they have with CORW are still in place for the next 12 years. That's going to generate a lot of revenue. There was also a question regarding whether or not they would go into possibly being their own neo cloud provider. I think it was Adam Sullivan that provided the answer on that one. He said that it sounded like they were more interested in co-location, but that they would entertain the idea of becoming neo cloud if the demand was there for it. Okay, so that's kind of interesting. There. Takeaways here, obviously 12-year contracts with CORW provides $10 billion in total contract value, $850 million in average annual run rate revenue, right? That's happening there. Well, it will happen as they build this stuff out in next year as well. Co-location contracts deliver compelling economics and strong margins. Sales pipeline remains robust. It includes a mix of hyperscaler and non-hyperscaler customers. Strong balance sheet provides future financial flexibility to execute on strategic opportunities. And the leadership team has over 150 million years of experience there. You can see all their sites there. They have Grand Forks, which is future co-location site. Muskogee, Oklahoma, but that's CORW. Pecos, Texas, 200 megawatts. That's a future co-location site. Austin, Texas, that's 20 megawatts. That's by CORW there. Denton, Texas, 260 megawatts. That's CORW. They have Auburn, Alabama. That's 30 megawatts available for co-location. Dalton, Georgia, 175 megawatts. That's CORW. And Marble, North Carolina, that is also for CORW, 65 megawatts there. Current co-location power expansion pipeline, 2.3 gigawatts in existing and future gross power allocations for utility partners equals an existing and future billable power available for co-location contracts, about 1.5 gigawatts there. So definitely a lot of power for them. CORW contracts summary right now, right, 590 megawatts infrastructure, 800 megawatts gross, over 10 billion in revenue potential over the contract terms, right, 850 million annual run rate there. Anticipated 75 to 80% profit margins, 12-year contracts with 2 5-year options. And then obviously the nice part is the client pays for CapEx, power, and utilities. Obviously they do give them back some credits there and some discounts on the first couple of years there. Cumulative energization timeline for existing CORW contract capacity, right? So they're 2025, they're looking to get to 250 megawatts. And then 2026, they're going to continue to build out. And it looks like in 2027, they're looking to be at the full 590 megawatts at that point. Right, so delivery plan is going to be Denton, Georgia, 260 megawatts. Dalton is going to be 175 megawatts. Muskogee is going to be 65 for Marble and 20 for Austin. They're total 590 megawatts here, and you can see the sites there. Contract details, you guys know the contract details there. We're not going to get into it. Contracted site construction progress. You can see all the sites that are being built out. Obviously, a lot of years of experience there. Appendix, what do we got here? I think that's basically it here on this. Contracted site construction progress, so you can see how they've progressed on that. Denton back in May, now in October. Obviously, you got more built out here. Looks like more things happening here, right? You get the chillers in here, the coolers down the middle of this. So it's definitely a lot of progress there. Muskogee went in May, basically a brownfield site, and now they got buildings up actually being almost complete there, it looks like, and they're progressing there quite nicely here. And then you got also here Marble in May of 2025, some buildings obviously being up there, and then you can see all the construction that has been done there. So they're getting close to that one. Dalton, basically brownfield at that point. October, huge progress on the build out as well. And they're right in 2026, they should have some of the stuff built out by then, I would imagine. So great news for the shareholders here, I think. In CORZ Scientific there, my dad's still holding strong. He's holding on to what he has. He has no plans on moving anything right now, and we'll see how they do going forward here. Right? They did speak about, I don't know if it was in here, but I thought it was in here. I thought I saw it someplace in here, that they are targeting for the Q4 numbers to get, let's see, there it is. What's expecting by Q4 earnings? Signing of at least one new co-location customer, one or more new power contracts at existing sites, and then new major power contract at site in U.S. top market. Additional details on scalable financing approach. So they are still going to be growing quite nicely here, it looks like, potentially based on this. So this is good news. We'll see how the stock does going forward. It should get re-rated more so now, I think, as well, with but they got to announce some stuff. But I think it's going to still get re-rated here a little bit. I think we're looking at maybe $25 to $30 on the stock in the short term if things work out that way. All right, that's it for core. Next here, Terawulf. Terawulf provides us with an upsizing and pricing of 900 million convertible senior or convertible notes offering. So today they now upsized. It's offering to 900 million. It was 500 million the day before, so there's obviously a huge demand for it. These are 0% convertible senior notes. Key elements of the transaction: the offering comprises 900 million aggregate principal amount, 0 convertible notes due 2032 with a 37.5 conversion premium. And Terawulf has granted the initial purchases of the convertible a 13-day option to purchase additional 125 million there. The offering is expected to close tomorrow, October 31st. And the use of proceeds obviously are going to be used for the traditional stuff there as well. So great news for them. They obviously got a heck of a lot more cash to build out the site there. So in Abernathy, Texas. So great news for them. And they're going to be executing quite nicely here going forward. So that's great news. Lastly, but not least, Riot obviously provided their quarterly results here. They were actually not that bad. They were actually pretty good. So Riot Platforms' third quarter 2025 financial results, record quarterly revenue of 180.2 million, net income of 104.5 million, or 26 cents per diluted earnings per share there. Adjusted EBITDA of 197.2 million, announces initiation of 112 megawatts of core and shell for data center campuses. This is actually very, very interesting there, and a nice turn of events. We don't know if that's going to be for any specific customer right now, or if they're going to be going at it alone. At least I didn't see that in here. If you guys saw that someplace, I did miss the conference call for them. If you guys heard anything in there, let me know. I got to listen to the conference call. Probably I'll listen to that tomorrow sometime. I doubt I'm going to be get a chance to listen tonight. But if there's anything that interesting in there, I'll definitely let you guys know on tomorrow's stream. Let's see here. Riot made decisive progress in the development of our data center business this quarter. Said Jason Les, CEO there. The progress has culminated in announcing today the initiation of the core and shell development of the first two buildings at our Corsicana data center campuses, representing 112 megawatts of total critical IT load. This development has been made possible by 4 key achievements this quarter, namely 1, the acquisition of an additional 67-acre parcel of land directly adjacent to our original Corsicana site. 2, the completion of the campus design for Corsicana, which will transform the entire site for data center development. The completion of the basis of design for our standard data center build, and 4, the ongoing build out of our in-house data center team there. So it almost seems like they're going to be trying to get rid of, well, that's one of the things I heard on Core also, is they're going to try to completely transform the business at Core from a Bitcoin miner to a AI provider. Right, so we're going to definitely see Bitcoin going away for core there, it seems like. And I think we might be seeing the same thing happen here over time with Riot, potentially. Key financial and operational highlights here. So total revenue, 180.2 million, right, 84.8 million for the same period last year. So nice growth there. Produced 1,406 Bitcoin compared to 1,104. Average cost to mine, excluding depreciation, was 46.324 thousand in the quarter, compared to 35,000 for the prior quarter and last year, mainly due to obviously the hash rate growth there. Bitcoin mining revenue was 160.8 million for the quarter compared to 67, so a nice increase there as they grew their hash rate on that one. Engineering revenue was 19.1 million, so slight increase in that from 12.6 million the prior year on that. And then they held 19,287 Bitcoin, of which 3,300 are currently held as collateral, equating to approximately 2.2 billion based on a market price of 1 Bitcoin in September 30th of 114,000 at that point. Okay, so there's their statement there. I pulled in all the data that we do have on them from their quarterly filing, their Q10 filing, and we'll take a look at that down below here. Obviously, we can see that they have now, I need to update this. They have a little bit more shares. They diluted a little bit. It wasn't that bad. There was about a 0.6% dilution there. So that was actually nice to see there. That's market cap of 7.8 billion right now for them based on today's price where it ended up at. The performance over the last 12 weeks has been actually pretty good, right? Up 93% from 12 weeks ago, up 61 from 8 weeks ago. From 4 weeks, they're up 10%. And last week, they're up even 6.94% here. Going down here into the last 4 quarters revenue, those have been increasing, which is nice to see. Current quarter, we're estimating 145 million, right? The current quarter, which is obviously October, November, December. We don't know. This is just based on where the Bitcoin price is right now. Bitcoin price goes up, they can definitely generate more, right, in revenue. But this is based on current Bitcoin price. In the last 4 quarters, operating costs, self-mining, minus depreciation, those have been going up as well. But that's not bad, right? We don't want those to be going up too fast, too high, and revenues being flat or going down a little bit. So got to keep an eye on that one. Other metrics here, custom mine mod Bitcoin, I also am at 46.3 thousand, which was good there. It's come down from the Q2, which was 49,000. Bitcoin mined quarterly. That's been coming down here as they haven't really grown their hash rate and Bitcoin price has been coming down, right? Debt to equity here, lower is better. That's come down a little bit, 2.1, which is good. Current ratio, higher is better. That has improved a little bit to 1.47, so that's good there. Total current assets went up to 528 million. Total current liabilities went down to 358, so that's also looking pretty good there right now as it is. Going down here into the spreadsheets of all the stuff here, we'll get into some of these things in a second. We talked about current assets, right? Those have increased, which is good here. I don't see anything that's major in here. That was a big change. So we're going to cover that. Total assets went up to 4.4 billion from 4.2 billion there. So that's good. Big change on that was Bitcoin valuation, right, to 1.8. What else do we have here? Property and plant went up to 60 million roughly. But that was basically about it there. That really increased a bunch for them on that one. Liabilities here, short-term total liabilities, current liabilities, 358, up a little bit from 374, so that's not too bad. Total liabilities is actually down to 974 million from 989 million, so that's not too bad also. And then total stockholder equity is 4.4 billion compared to 4.2 billion, so that's also gone up for them. Revenues here, right? Revenues, 116 million for Bitcoin mining, nice increase over the prior quarter as well. Engineering went up to 19 million from 10 million from last quarter, so that's good improvement there. And then total revenue, obviously 180 million from 152, so that's looking pretty good here. And then self-mining percentage of revenue was only 89.22%. They had a really nice high number there in Q2, which was 92%. Expenses, though, increased for mining to 95 million here from 78 million. Engineering also went up to 13 million on that one, so they were still at least profitable somewhat in engineering, where at certain times they almost like lost money on it. What else do we have here? Selling general administration went down to 69.8 from 75, so that's looking a little bit better there. Still high though, in my opinion. What else we got here? Change in fair value Bitcoin, right? They got a positive on that. It's a negative here, but that gives them a positive 133 million. What else? Power curtailment, 30 million in power curtailment credits. That's nice to see that there as well. And then overall, we got gross profit operations was 80 million compared to 216. 216 was mainly based on Bitcoin change of fair value right there for 470 million in Q2 on that one. Let's see here. Self-mining gross profit was 40%. That's down from the 44% that they had prior quarter. Okay, what else do we have here? Income loss before income tax was 106 million gain there from 219. Again, like I said, the main thing was the revaluation of Bitcoin. Overall, they came in pretty good here with 26 cents EPS diluted 30, whatever it came in, 30 cents basic there on it. And if we take out share-based compensation, which actually went up to 32.8 million from the 30 million, don't like seeing that. But revenue minus mining costs, SG&A plus electrical costs, it came in at 25 million there positive on that compared to a loss of -4. So that was actually a good sign there as well. All right. Based on that, looking at the prior quarters and the current quarter that we're in right now, where do we see them at? Well, I believe between somewhere 1191 and 1786. They're currently at 2109. I think they're pretty well valued, maybe a little bit overvalued, but they're getting more value on AI potential here going forward, which is okay, right? Even if we use the last numbers that we have for September, multiplied times 12 months, we have between 12.19 and 18.29, which is a little bit closer to that as well. And then the analysts have it as a high of $42, average of $20, and a low of $11 right now. All right, going down here to some of the other things here we talked about already. Some of the things here, cost to mine one Bitcoin was 46,000.3, right? We talked about that already. Revenue, here we go. General administrative compensation was what I wanted to show you guys as well. That's down to at least 38.75% now, so that's down from the 49.61 that we had the prior quarter, so that's at least improved a little bit. But we still definitely want to see Riot bring down their costs for general administration compensation, stock-based compensation, all of those things, which Jason has stated that at the second half of 2027 that will be the case. Right? I don't know why it's taking them that long to do it. But I guess they have things in place already contractually that they have to abide by, I guess. And then next year, that's when those things will end and they may not do those things anymore. So overall, pretty good there. The interesting part, obviously, is them building out the facility there, which we have a picture of it here, looks like. Where did it go? It is right there. There we go. So building 1, 56 megawatts. Building 2, 56 megawatts there. This is part of the phase 1. It looks like they got building 4, building 3, and then they got building 8, which is a 3-story potentially. And building 7 was also a 3-story there. And then they got building 5, building 6 along the way there as well. All right. And they're also going to be doing the expansion phase. And then this is going to be phase 2 of the expansion there. So kind of interesting on that side of things. But no real information as far as customers, or are they going in their own Neo Cloud path on that one. So hopefully we'll get some updates from that. That would help out. But overall, really good. Not bad. Right? They need to improve on some things, but some things are improving nonetheless. So that is it. That's all I got for you guys here. So spreadsheet will be available to you guys tomorrow. I'll get this uploaded for the Patreon members since we have an update on this. I still have to update Terawulf in there as well, put in there a couple quarterly results. They'll be coming in. And then we'll also include Hut 8 in that as well. We'll get them in there in here, and we'll have everybody back to being in one sheet because a lot of these guys are pivoting to AI. They're now reporting monthly. So it's like we'd be down to, by the end of next year, sometime we'd be probably down to like one company still reporting monthly updates. We'll see how long that continues. But I loved getting those updates. I'm sure you guys did too. It showed you at least where the company was at on a monthly basis. And we'll see if that still continues going forward here. All right, that's it. That's all I got for you guys. Let's get into Q&A here and call it a day. All right, where are we at? Questions. All right. As always, if you guys could preface the question with a question mark or a Q, I would appreciate. And we're going to work our way up and work our way down as always and see what's going on here. All right, John Kurtz says, hi Seb, how are you doing? I'm doing good, but more Bitfarms and Hive. Quality corporations, share count is everything, the multiplier. Yeah, low share count does definitely help. Bitfarms does have a high share count though. HB, any reason for the green overnight? I think it's just some people buying the dip there. Dan, I don't think Bitcoin is ever going to go up. I think it will go up, right? It's highly manipulated right now, but they will run it up. Let's see. Dan says, I hope you're right. Sorry for being negative, just so defeated. And that's what they want you to be. They want to bring you down, beat you down for where you capitulate, sell your coins, and then they're going to run it back up. So be patient there, have the courage, but obviously not financial advice. All right. Neville says, let's see here. Victor says, hi Seb. Hi Victor. Neville says, Cypher November 3rd and 6th will be fun. I hope. Okay. Aren't they reporting? When are they reporting there? I think it's right around that time frame, right? November 6th, I think. East Coast. It seems there's no shortage of fools using leverage and whales taking their lunch money. So expect this crappy BTC price movement to continue. Yeah, leverage doesn't help. Yeah, I mean, it's the market. The market, well, I think it's being manipulated more so than anything else. But, you know, they have the power. They got the money. They can do that. They'll bring it up. They'll bring it down, you know, and take your money at that point. Kat says, all I hear is killing of longs. When do we get to kill the shorts? Yeah, definitely would like to see that. Maybe November's going to be the better month for us. We were hoping September was going to be a good one. Didn't turn out that way. I mean, we were up 5% or something like that. Wasn't bad. But October, we're expecting a great month for October historically, and it didn't work out that way. John says he's good. He's on vacation. Enjoy it. I hope you're having a fun time. Dan, all they have done is hype up this 150,000 to 200,000 price by year end, and we can't even hold 110,000. Laughing my butt off. Yeah, I mean, it's been rough. It has not been easy. Like that's why the reason why I also think that Bitcoin's gonna have an extended cycle. They're just continuing to manipulate this thing, you know, with much slower gains, and it's just like it's like molasses watching this thing go up. It does go up at times and it comes back down. Yeah, that's just my take. East Coast guy, I think we're all out of narratives to get to 150,000 rate cuts, crypto friendly admin, state electricity reserve, ETFs. I don't think I'm still positive. I think we'll get to there. Will we get there by the end of the year? It might be close, right? I mean, if we have a nice rally in November, like we had back last year, being up 60%, then yeah, we could definitely hit that even in November. If we have half of that, we'll be looking at like 140, 145, something like that maybe. So we'll see what we get. All right. Dan says Mike Alford tweeted he got the call for 106,300 being the bottom there. I hope you got the right call and not a prankster there. You got to obviously, Mike likes to have fun and tease. But hopefully that is the bottom there. Rob, the market makers will make Bitcoin go up. It's orchestrated, no doubt. Yeah, I also think the same thing. D. Roy said, how about a survey? Did the survey? Where's the survey at right now? 61% of you think Bitcoin will reach 150,000 before it gets to 100,000. Okay, so we still got some bulls in here. All right. Paul says all green tonight, probably because Riot, Coin, etc. earnings are good. That definitely helped. Paul Brown, MicroStrategy. What do you want to know about? MicroStrategy is green too. Dan, IREN earnings 1 week from today. Yep, that's happening there. Amir, evening Seb, if no contract is in sight in near future for Bitfarms, can they still generate income by renting hash rate? How is IREN generating profit currently? Thanks. Bitfarms is generating profit by obviously mining Bitcoin, right? They're not renting it out to anybody. They don't do any hosting, I don't think. They might have had some hosting when they bought out Stronghold, but I can't remember if they did. It was a very small amount. So they're still generating revenue from that. That's still cash flow positive for them. And IREN is generating profit currently by Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin mining, and from being a neo cloud provider there as well, which that should be going up. We don't know exactly where they're at right now. I think they're like at $2 million to $3 million per month right now. We'll see if that jumps up for them if they report anything on that. Obviously, they don't report the monthly updates. We usually get the monthly updates, but they don't report that anymore. So that's majority right now is coming still from Bitcoin mining though. Rob says Hive strong and Bitfarms strong, y'all. I own Bitfarms, so I want him to do well. And I want Hive to do well also. Did you guys really get scared? Weak hands gonna fumble. Weak hands, yeah. You gotta have chutzpah, right? I think is the term there. Amir, seems like the market has been actively opposite of what's expected. How do you expect November performance will be? I mean, we can only look back at historical performance of it, and last year was actually pretty good here. If we look at the other months here that we do have on Bitcoin, where is it at? Let me pull this up. On this one, November historically is still more bullish than anything else, right? And let's see here. In 2021, we were actually in the red. So we kind of topped out in October of last cycle. We were in the red there. We've been in the red, obviously, last year, the year before. We were, in 2020, we were in the green nicely, 42% there. Prior cycle in 2017, right, we were up 53%, 5%, 19. So it's historically, going back, has been actually pretty good. October historically has been even better, but it didn't work out that way. So we shall see. I'm expecting a pretty good month here in November, right? Rate cuts are in. Quantitative tightening is ending at the end by December. You got the China and tariff FUD thing, I think, being kind of done and over with right now. There's just a lot of things going forward here that I think are going to propel these stocks up higher and the markets up higher as well. But time will tell. All right, what else we got here? Let's see, water air industry. It seems we can no longer make predictions based on BTC's past movements. The playing field has been moved considerably by institutions. Yeah, that's why I think we might be going into an extended cycle. Edge AI, maybe AI, I'm guessing. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. I'm sorry. Bought more July 25-minute MicroStrategy calls today. Okay. Oops, I meant July 2026. Okay. S-Hex Hive will be up in aftermarket, then goes red when the market opens. Happened too many times in the last couple of days, couple of weeks. Not only them, it's for the other miners as well. Because it's a trap. Green in aftermarket jumps off of a cliff when market opens up. Yep. Dan, end of November price target for Cleanspark. If we have a good month for Bitcoin markets in general, I think they'll be up to $25 somewhere around there, maybe even higher. Let's see, Kaz, it's like this every day in the last 2 weeks. Yeah. Artist one says Bitfarms says they don't suck. They had issues in the past. That they're fixed those issues, I believe, and they're moving in the right direction, much stronger in space. Desert topics here. Looking at BTC 2-year trend line, it looks like too tight to me. Needs to go down and loosen up in order for people to jump in and rally it higher. Now, it's obviously been going down here recently. Let's see, Pablo, how is the Cleanspark and Bitfarms transition to AI going? It is in the works. This is the best I can say. Right, Cleanspark's obviously going into Texas now. They hired the right person. They got the right company in place as well to help them design and build out the data centers there. So they're progressing in that as well. Same thing for Bitfarms there. League. Q3 earnings are with the best BTC price average for a quarter ever. Yes, they are. Have you calculated Mara's estimated EPS for earnings on Tuesday? They should beat by 100%, I think. It all depends on what they throw in with the earnings as far as compensation, all those things, right? I haven't done that math yet, though, on them. I probably should have. And that kind of actually scared me there. Okay, there we go. Why is that? There we go. All right, let's see. Talk about that one. Let's see. League BTC price on September 30th was 114 roughly. That's what we should be using for Q3 reporting. That is what we're using, yeah. What all these companies are using there. Senketh, what's the reason behind dip for Ken? Will it go down? What's your year-end target for Ken? Again, Ken, I kind of lightly cover them. We just kind of see what the price action is doing on them. They've dipped. Everybody's dipped here. I think if the markets rebound, they will rebound as well. I'm not sure what the price target for them is going to be by the end of the year, though. It will depend on how much more they grow in Bitcoin mining, and along with, do they go into AI, which I think they are planning on getting into AI as well. All right. Tribuki says, Peter Thiel of Mara is also a co-founder of Palantir. Okay. Feel like that's a bogus report there. I could be wrong in it. I've never heard of that being a co-founder of Palantir for Peter Thiel. Okay. PJW. Seb, you mentioned Hive may have headwinds versus other miners. Your reasoning was they are not in America. Would you mind and be kind enough to elaborate a little? Please share. Yeah. Hive does not have any data centers in the United States, right? They have data centers in Canada, in Paraguay, in Sweden, Bitcoin mining sites and data centers, whatever you want to call them, right? So they have those there. They don't have anything in the United States here. And historically, you see companies that are, they don't have to be really based in the United States, but they can be, well, maybe even might be based in the United States. But if you have operations in the United States, you have investments in the United States, you have sites, land, infrastructure, things like that. I think those will get a little bit of a better price appreciation than companies that don't have any operations in the United States. That just my take. I could be wrong on that. But that's just kind of the thing that I've seen here, at least with Hive. We've seen that a little bit with Bitfarms in the past as well, where they struggled more so than the other miners that are actually based in the United States. Okay, so that's kind of where I'm taking that from. All right. See, Lee says you're thinking of a different Thiel, not the same guy. Yeah, I didn't think that was, but they're brothers. Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting. So okay, so if that's the case, that's actually pretty interesting there. Let's see. Rob says, so did I miss something today? Trump made a deal with China, and the price of BTC went down instead of what we all had thought that it would go up instead. The only thing that we missed, obviously, well, we didn't miss it. We kind of knew that the options expirations were going to happen tomorrow. And we've seen Bitcoin go down towards the end of the month here, like for the last couple of months, even maybe for the last year. Every time we get close to the end of the month here, options are going to be expiring and the market just dumps it. Doesn't dump it too much, but it just still goes down, right? So that's kind of, I mean, you kind of almost, you could probably look back at it and see if there's like every single month of this past year, if that's happened. And you might be able to play the market that way a little bit. Like you get close to the end of the month, you might want to sell some and buy back lower. I don't recommend that, but you could possibly do that. All right, B2C saw the new Trump now hints at cracking down on illegal short sales. I saw that too. Yeah, naked shorting on that. I saw that too. That would be interesting. Alexander, do you think Mara is a good hedge bet against AI taking time with contracts with amounts it's holding since Bitcoin is still pretty up? I mean, Mara has a lot of potential, right? Thing is, can they execute? Can they concentrate on one thing instead of going into so many different things? And maybe doing so many things right now may play out better for them later on. Maybe, I don't know. Time will tell. Right now, obviously, the narrative is AI. How fast can you get customers? How fast can you build out your own data centers for AI? And can you become a neo cloud also, like one of those things, right? That's kind of the narrative right now that's pushing these guys up. Trade Wiki. Leaks reports I stand corrected. Mara's Thiel is actually Fred and not Peter. Okay, Peter Thiel, I know. Peter Thiel, obviously, he's part of the, part of the PayPal mafia there, right? Peter Thiel, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there was Peter Thiel, was Elon Musk, and others, right, that have gone on to make billions of dollars and other things that they have done there. So, okay, Gary, question, how can we have an extended Bitcoin cycle when Bitcoin bull ended in 2024 and 2025 has been flat and no longer a bull market? The bull market hasn't existed for a year. What is getting extended flat? Well, it's just going up slower, right? So, I mean, we're up this year. What are we up right now? 18%, 20% on the year, whatever it is, something like that. So next year we might be up only 11%, right? Who knows? I mean, but it's going to be an extended cycle where at least if Bitcoin at least holds this price, it's actually really good for the miners though, because you're not having that big crash happening later on next year where they, make jack squat from Bitcoin mining at that point. So if it just at least holds this price, that should be a good thing for them going forward. We'll help them build out their AI data centers as well. Paul Brown says, Gary, what you talking about? 25, we were at all-time high in Bitcoin price. Yeah, we did get to 126,000, whatever it's been. 127. Gary says, this is like no Bitcoin bull cycle before. No, you're right about that. It is like no other cycle at all. Sadie, thank you so much for the likes there. League, Mara had a tens of millions of orders statement regarding their cooling technology. Tens of millions. Okay, tens of millions for the cooling technology. You're talking about the two-pick, right? Two-phase immersion cooling there. When did they report that? If I might have missed that. So you might be right there. I might have missed that though. Gary says usually ends with a blow off top. We get a 1 day top and then down for 2 months, and then 1 day top repeat. That's the way it's been playing out this year. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Extended cycle potentially. League, I need to find out that again was recent PowerPoint style press release. Okay. Amir, even if we get a crypto winter again, it won't be as aggressive as 2022, in my opinion. We could go down 30%, right? We've seen that this past year and a half to 2 years of Bitcoin. We've gone up, we've come down 30, 33%, something like that, and then we bounced back up. We saw that twice, but it's been an extended period of time that it took us to go down 30%, like a couple months. Whereas before, in a nice bull run, we would go up, new all-time high, we'd correct 30, 35% within a matter of days, if not a week or so, and then we would continue to rally back up. We're not seeing that right now. Gary asks, how can it be really good for miners if this entire cycle only one miner is profitable because, well, you were talking about also depreciation, stock-based compensation, all that stuff, right? Which, yes, you can include that. I don't look at that. I look at just the cash flows from those, right? Are they at least cash flow positive from those things? And a lot of these guys still are. Sour, everyone was talking about a supply shock 6 to 8 months ago, and now there's 2.4 million coins on exchanges, not even close. It's gotten a lot lower than it's been, right? So that continues to go down as well. So if we get more people buying it, and then if we can actually use it for buying things without having to pay, gains taxes on it or something like that, that would be also good. We'll see where we go. If the United States gets an SBR sometime next year, potentially, maybe even this year, who knows? But we should be going up here. I'm not too worried about it right now, at least what I'm seeing. Could be completely wrong. Could be off the rocker completely and, living in an opium dream or something like that. But I think we're still going to go up here. Mike, paper Bitcoin perpetual futures have destroyed this bull cycle and ended the last cycle early. Yeah, manipulation, same thing I think you're talking about. Manipulation, I think, is a big part of it right now as it is. All right. I think we're going to call it a day. We're going on 43 minutes right now as it is. I got work tomorrow. I'm sure you guys do too as well. If not, congratulations. You guys are doing better than I am. Okay, but that's it. Thank you so much for coming in as always. Love you guys. I hope you guys have a fantastic Friday. I hope we don't go too badly in the red there. And we'll be in November here, obviously, over the weekend. And going into next week, I'm expecting better things for us at least. So we'll see. Let's see. Elise says, if you do that Mara calculation this weekend for EPS and Rev, can you throw it on Discord? Yeah, if I do that, I'll definitely just throw it up there. Gary says, don't sound like a great for miners when they all planning to leave the space. But that's because a lot of them are thinking that we're going to have possibly another dip 70-80% on Bitcoin, right? So that wouldn't be good for them. Then PGW Trump came out with a boatload of done deals with Xi because of the government shutdown. We have no way of checking the validity of these deals. This has really become the Wild West. I think if it wasn't valid deals, the China would have come out and said these are bogus, right? So don't worry about that. Sadie, you're very welcome, and everybody else, thank you so much. Love you all. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night. Until then, bye.